Dear watch friends, are we facing a crisis or an opportunity? It sounds like a cliché, I agree, but I'm pretty sure it's a genuine sentiment for the current market situation. Today I want to share with you all my personal view and insights in today's market, and especially the vintage market within the context of the economic climate today. In short, we see the love for vintage Rolex growing and growing again, and see more and more interest in these beauties day by day. Lately, we have all seen headlines and social media posts that we might at first feel is overwhelmingly negative. We see prices for modern Rolex, hype modern Patek and AP watches going down, and it has shown some real negative light on collecting watches. But if you look closer, we see that such press is heavily biased on these speculative pieces which had crazy development beyond any reason over the last 9 to 18 months. Only a short period. Money was cheap and prices went crazy. When the truth is that many of these pieces went from dealer to dealer in the hope that this upward spiral, that price spiral would stay alive. How many consumers actually paid 55k for a new Daytona, 180k for a Nautilus 5711 or 35k on a colored Oyster Perpetual? And was the supply really that low when you check out all these pages and pages of offerings on the usual platforms? Often we also heard watch dealers talk about clients who want to buy modern watches mainly based on potential quick profit rather than on personal taste or preference. We have seen many young dealers coming into the market hunting for easy profit and deals with very little knowledge or even interest for watches. And we see them leave our world again just as fast. And to be honest, we see this really as a positive development. That overhyped speculation on modern watches, which come new to market every day, never felt right for us. As passionate watch lovers, we never could justify, for example, a new ceramic Daytona, which are sold at ADs every day for like under 14,000 euros, would fetch 55,000 euros a short while ago. And compared to some vintage masterpieces by Patek or Rolex, those prices seem just absurd. What will happen to these values once the new generation of Daytona might hit the market? I guess you can imagine the scenario. As you know, our watch passion and portfolio is based mainly on vintage and neo-vintage watches. Watches that have a limited supply and match our appetite for great quality and style. Watches with a soul, each one individual and unique. Finding real nice ones has become harder and harder every day. So don't wait too long before getting your vintage beauty before they are all gone, because the market becomes thinner every day. We are also very happy to see more and more people starting to grow an interest in vintage watches again, and even see many of these people who hunted the modern pieces switch to vintage watches now. They start to understand that the steady and stable growth of vintage watches we have seen over the last 15 to 20 years has shown these watches are not only great joy and fun, but also a safer bet over the years. I've been a collector for over 16 years now, and in my experience, prices for vintage watches, and certainly for the big brands like Rolex, have shown a stable growth. Even during the big crisis in 2008 and 9, prices for nice vintage Rolex only stalled for about 1 to 2 months, and after that period prices started to grow even faster than before. The crisis was a divider like it is now for quality and great watches, and they gained even more demand. I have experienced over the years that collecting great vintage watches has become the cheapest hobby I ever had, and also the most valuable one. And not so much pointed towards the financial side or gain, but even more on a personal level. The worldwide friendships and connections with people through our common passion for these watches has enriched my life beyond any financial gain. This is the true value of hunting, collecting and enjoying vintage watches, the friendships and the relations with the people worldwide, but also the knowledge and the fun they bring, and at the same time they have been a safe haven and great value over the years. Certainly in a time of high inflation and money in the bank burning, this is for me the way forward. Just make sure you buy them from the right sources. When you buy vintage, make sure you buy from vintage specialists, such as Bulang and Sons and other people out there. Small mistakes can cost big money, and we try to prevent you from making such mistakes. So I see a great future for vintage watches, and we are happy witnessing so many young and new people showing their interest and starting their journey into the vintage watch fun. Every week we will welcome new vintage lovers online or in our lounge and help them to buy their first vintage Rolex. And it really is our passion to help you and them getting into vintage Rolex the right way. And soon we will start also some series to guide new collectors to get into vintage Rolex, really in a good way, but also in a enjoyable way, lasting way. So enjoy your journey, and our team of experienced watch experts is always happy to help you and find the right one for you. Contact us and we stand next to you.